Hello, lovely people. So, I brought you another tutorial, and you will see all the names of the colors of the hues that I'm using on the screen, but I'm also just going to tell you about them. So, right now, the basic color for the face of the girl is quinacridone gold and Naples yellow reddish. I do like to mix these two colors or two shades because quinacridone gold is a little bit too yellow for me, at least, or for my taste, and Naples yellow reddish is a little bit too pink. So when mixing, you can also get different ratio mix of the two colors in accordance with what you need at that particular area of the face. For the cheeks, I'm going to use quinacridone coral, and at first I'm going to use a very diluted mix. So I'm just going to add a lot of water, and later on I will just add more saturation as we go. So for shadowing the face, I'm going to use purple, this brilliant from the Brilliant series by Schminke. I'm sorry, I still have no idea of the shade name. I purchased this over 4 years ago, so I just don't know, and there is no shade name on the pen as well. So for the hand, I'm also going to use quinacridone gold mixed with Naples yellow reddish, which is the same shade combination that we used for the face. And if you would like to just color it instead of having to redraw it again, I do have this coloring page. As a coloring page, I do have this on Patreon, so you can just download it, print it, and then you just color it however you like it. You can even copy or whatever I'm doing. So for the hair, the first color I'm using is lemon yellow, and we are going to use 3 colors and just keep it very simple because I don't want the focus to be on the hair. I want it to be on the face. So the pizza, which is in the girl's hand, is going to be made of a lot of colors. The color of the cheese is yellow ochre. And right now I'm coloring the shirt of the girl, which is cadmium red. And if you can see, there are no basic technique, is all wet on dry except for the shading of the girl's face that I did wet on wet. But everything is wet on dry, and I'm just trying to do a diluted version at first and then keep layering down so that it has more depth and shadows. The eye color is cerulean blue as per storyline. So I did this illustration for a book, and the girl's eye color is blue. So that's the only reason, but you can use Van Dyke brown or you can use green, whatever you like. It's just what I did with this. So continuing to do yellow ochre for the cheesy part of the pizza. And this was super fun to paint. I just left out some areas white, just wherever the cheese I think would glisten, I left it completely white. Then I'm adding cadmium red for the tomatoes on the pizza. So I pre-drew this with a marker, so I didn't need to shade it any further because I didn't want the attention to be on the tomatoes, which are top on the pizza. For the crust of the pizza, the first shade I'm going to use is yellow ochre, and it's just a basic color for the overall pizza as well. And then I will do quinacridone gold and maple zero radish, but a more saturated version on the face, wherever there is no highlight. And you can see me jump back and forth between the pizza and the girl, and the reason for that is that while the pizza paint is drying, I can paint the girl. And if I continue to paint the pizza, then the colors would just bleed together and it would be a whole messy thing. I know because I did it before with previous paintings. So I just enhance the face with quinacridone coral, the cheeks, and I'm also using quinacridone coral for the tip of the fingers. But I did here a mistake, as you will see in just a minute, is that I kept adding more and more saturated version of that quinacridone coral. If I could redo this now, I would just stop right here and wouldn't add any more, because in the end it just looks like she has some kind of a tomato syrup, tomato sauce on top of her, in the tip of her fingers. So using that brilliant purple for shadowing again. And now we are using the second color for the hair, which is Indian yellow, just to darken it a little bit and also give it more definition. And I'm just trying to mimic the hair strokes, the way the hair falls right now. So there isn't really much technique that goes into this. As you can see, I'm just following the natural shape of her face and hair. Next is my favorite part, the braids. These are so fun and so rewarding to paint, I just can't get it wrong. I'm still a bit unhappy the way I paint hair, but the braids I just love. I don't know why, but I think they are a bit more realistic than the rest of the hair. So using this purple from the Brilliant series by Schminke, I'm going to create more saturated shadows. And after that, I'm jumping back to the pizza piece and painting some greenery with subgreen. It could be parsley. And then using indigo, I'm shading the mushroom pieces. Well, these are totally optional. I'm just, telling you what I'm painting. But you could also paint other vegetables there, like corns and stuff. So using quinacridone burnt orange, I'm going to deepen the shadows of the cheese, of the melted cheese. And here I'm not painting everything, but rather I'm skipping areas to give a more flowy and liquidy effect. So I feel like this color, the quinacridone burnt orange, finally gives it a color of kind of like a real cheese would be, but we will still go in with more shades, more colorful shades. So next I'm going to use English red to paint the crust, which is supposed to be, a bit burnt down there, so I might as well paint it a lot darker. Using cadmium red, I'm going to give final details to the cheesy area. And it is possible that red area is not even cheese, but the pizza sauce that is below the cheese, but in some areas it just pops up very colorfully. And now I'm using the same cadmium red to paint the pizza sauce that is between the crust and the cheese. And oh god, I'm starting to be hungry as I'm speaking about all of the areas of the pizza. Using the same brilliant purple I used on the girl's face, I'm going to paint the areas where I think the pizza casts a shadow. Next, I'm going to give our final color to the hair, which is going to be Van Dyke Brown. And I'm still just doing the same as before with the lemon yellow and the Indian yellow. I'm mimicking the hair strokes. And I think it's important to mention here to leave out some areas white and some areas should stay. You should see the yellow, both of the yellows, in order to give depth to the hair. So there are some areas where it's shining so brightly that it looks white, and then yellow, and then Indian yellow, and the darkest beads are going to be the Van Dyke Brown. I'm doing my favorite beads now, which is the braids, which are the braids. I hope that you like it as much as I do. Using quinacridone coral, so the same exact shade that we used on the fingertips and for the cheeks. I'm painting the lips. So the way I usually do this is that the top of the lip is usually in the shadow. So I'm going to completely cover it with this quinacridone coral, and I'm leaving the middle of the lips completely white and just paint around it. Now I'm deepening the brilliant purple area even more so that it has the right amount of depth in comparison with the lightest areas. With Van Dyke Brown, I am painting the eyebrow of the girl. I'm just also mimicking the hair here, so I'm not doing anything specific. So I did speed up this part where I'm going to add a background color, and using salt I'm going to give some heavy effect on the background. And the reason for that is because I'm doing a separate tutorial just on how to use salt and how I learned to use it over a very long time. So just to tell you very quickly how I did this, I used Prussian blue and dioxazine purple. I played around with these two shades, and while I was painting this wet on wet, I also sprinkled some salt here and there, and then I just waited for it to dry, basically. Using the same Van Dyke Brown I used for the eyebrows, I'm going to put some emphasis on the eyelids and on the nose as well. Using the same purple we used on the face, I'm going to give some shadow to the hand. And here I just need to complete some final bits that I left out. And after this whole thing dried down, first using a brush and then using my retractable eraser, I'm going to get rid of the salty bits. And you can see the reveal of my very salty background. So I hope you like this video. Please let me know in the comments section if you tried it. Send me pics of your artworks. And thank you so much for watching. Bye bye.